Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It is Friday, June 26th, and this is the QOL pre-market analysis. And we will get right into it. For starters, anybody that's new, please subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Go down and hit the more button there in the description there, and you can have the web access to the website, QOLtrading.com. When you get to the website there, you can put your name and your email address in there, and you can get on our weekly newsletter that we put out every Sunday. And in that newsletter, we go over the week in review and the markets, geopolitical news, anything that's coming up for the following week. I've got levels in there for the broader markets, the SPY, the Qs. I've been putting in the Mag 7, and now that we have SpaceX, I'm starting to add some SpaceX in there too. And got some interesting charts towards the end of this video that we'll go over with the SpaceX. So let's just get into the last data that we have for today. So I say this all the time. We've got this revised University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment report here. I don't put a lot of weight into it. I think it's, I think they just turned political, so I don't really watch that too much. You do have some Fed speak at about 10:30, and then President Trump, I see this something that came up here, is speaking at 12:30 later on today. I don't plan on being by my computer then, so hopefully he gives some a life jacket to the market here, and we can get popping again. So let's get into things. So again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and like this video. So let's start with the VIX like we always do right now. We'll see where it's at. I really have not even looked at it just yet because there really wasn't much movement. So like I said, pre-market yesterday, we're going to come down here to this 20 and the 50-day, and you could possibly get a bounce, and boy, oh boy, that sure bounced right off of that 1784 level. And then we had some pop overnight. So I think the markets are a little soft this morning coming in. We do have a gap down I've talked about from April 8th, $25.74. And then one last gap down here from March 30th when this tenacious rally started. At March 30th, $30.34 is the last gap down that we have there. Let's look at oil. Have not looked at oil either. I know it's just been falling. It's been bleeding lower, which is great. Love to see us get below this $67.83 a barrel. That would be fantastic. However, we do have a gap down here from June 15th at $84.34 a barrel. You got to keep an eye on that. However, we are below the 200-day moving average at $73.81 a barrel, as well as the 20-day moving average at $83.10 a barrel. So that's all positive stuff. So let's get into now ES, and then we'll keep on chugging along here. We've got this regressive trend line that's given us some resistance here today. So I would say in order to get some upside here, you're going to have to get above the 74.0541 level and then push. But if you do, I would anticipate you're going to get some resistance in this June 12th low at 747.44. I'll make that a little clearer for you, right? So you have a low, you broke the low, and same thing we always talk about, break and retest levels. So we did hit this point of control that was open from June 11th, 73.6342. You want to hold that level. We do not want to lose this 72.9225 before next week, right? You want to hold June lows. So I would say today, a couple areas to get resistance. You may get some resistance early on, right at this 74.05 level. If you can get above that low that we're talking about, in order to get that upside, you're going to have to regain the 50-day moving average, 74.4089. And if you do get that, you'll probably get some resistance at this upper end regressional trend line sitting at 74.72 and a quarter. But then continuing on the upside here, here's going to be your speed zone here if you can get above the 74.9827. But you will probably get some resistance in this 20-day moving average at 75.2478. On the downside, if you do lose that June low at 72.9225, here's the ideal support that I have, which is 71.9650. It's January's high. and that's an ideal break and retest. It also sits just below this 100-day moving average at 71.56.43. So big levels to hold today. Got to hold the 73.63.42 for starters, or on the downside. Otherwise, we may get some flush, right? Let's go and move along here. SPY is pretty much the same thing here. However, we did regain this midline regressional trend line here. Again, same thing here. Got to get above that 731.75, which is a May 12th low. If you get above that, you'll probably get a little resistance up here in yesterday's close, 734.31, and this upper end regressional trend line. If you do get above that, I would say you're probably, in order to be comfortable with longs, you want to get above 736.24. Above 736.24, then you get a little speed zone here. You can clear that right there, and then you may get a little resistance at 739.22. But I would say if you can clear this level right here, 738.39, I think you're going to get through that. You're going to get through that 739.22, and then push to that 743.46 level. On the downside here, if we lose this midline regressional trend line at 727.93. We're going to start approaching June lows, 722.59. Like I said, important for us to hold June lows on all broader markets and the SPY and the Qs right now. So let's get over into the NASDAQ now. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and like this video. NASDAQ is holding the 50-day SMA, sitting today. It's going to be sitting at 29,247.37. You need to hold that level. Got this point of control here from June 11th, 29,044.04. We still have not tapped that level, but I would say if you lose the 50, that's going to be a flush to that 29,044. If you lose that, then again, same thing. We're approaching the June lows, of which we want to hold at 28,512. Very important to hold that. If we lose the 50, I think there could be some flush if we lose the 50. Right now, we're kind of caught in between the 50 and the 20-day moving average. The 20 is sitting at 30,116 and change. If you can get above the 20, though, speed zone here, you're going to push back. You're going to push back into June 16's high, sitting at 30,548.35, and then you probably get a little resistance up there. But I think if you can get above that and you can hold, then you're going to start pushing back to the all-time highs, right? But right now we're flushing. We are making lower highs, right, and lower lows. So pay attention to that. There's still a little bit of a flush downward structure. In order for this downward trend to break, I think you're going to have to regain that 20-day. It's sitting at 30,117. So that's it for the Qs. That's it for the NQ. Let's get over to the Qs. Qs, same thing, respecting the 50-day moving average at 701.41 and this $700 and change. That is a point of control from June 11th. Did not tap it yet. So same thing with the NASDAQ. The Qs are the same thing. Got to hold that. If you lose 50, we could flush to the lows for June, which is at 686.37. And if you lose that, then you're coming back down to April of 2025 highs, sitting at 668.90, and then that's just above the 100-day moving average, sitting at 650.97. So, but you can see we've definitely got some resistance up at the 20 here. So that's going to be your line in the sand. You got to regain the 726.72 in order for you to push higher into all-time highs. I bet you today could be a little choppy. Yesterday certainly was choppy for Tesla. In our trade room, it was a rough go of it. So that being said, let's before we get into Tesla, let's go cover the Mag 7 real quick. Here is Nvidia right now, big sell-off here. That's a speed zone for us all, people. So you got to hold this 20-day moving average at 190.53. That's going to be your big line in the sand for today. If you can get above that, I think you'll push into a point of control from close from yesterday, which is sitting at 195.77. And let me just see, get something on here. So yeah, that 190.53 is going to be your big level. And then let me fan out a little bit, give us a 4-hour. Yeah, if you lose that 190, I think 190, 177 could be your target, right? So got to hold the 190 today. And if you lose the 190, possibly 181 would give you a little support. But then if you lose that 181, you've got the 177 level. So let's, I'm not really working on NVIDIA these days. That's why I don't have any charts up there for it. But I just want to cover what we have right now. So same thing with Apple. Apple got smoked yesterday based on, and all the Mag 7s, they're getting, people are kind of like selling off a lot of their profits because of what they are doing, what they are forecasting for the future. Their capital investments are in the 40, 50 billions, and they're just basically preparing for the future. So this right here for Apple, I think if you get above this 280 level, it's a speed zone into 290. It's one direction. We talk about the speed zones all the time. On the downside here, you got the 200 at 269.21. So you want to hold that 269.21. I think if we get down there, I think you get a little bounce today for Apple. Okay, let's move on to Meta. Same thing on Meta. Meta is like the rest of them. Lower highs, lower lows. May get some support here. We are respecting this 539.79. It is a point of control from April of last year. I did some support and resistance on this not too long ago, and I talked about this level here, which would be a good level of support. But if you do get a pop, you're going to get a pop into this 586.91, which is a 20-day moving average, and you're going to have to be prepared if you are some longs. You're going to get you probably get some resistance in there. Just take a look at this a little bit on the forecast. Lose 539. My next line in the sand here is 517.77. So hopefully you don't get that flush today. And let's go into Google. Google's another one that's been getting hammered a little bit these days. Same thing. They're all getting hammered because of their capital expenditures that they have on the horizon. 337.34. You're going to hold for Google today. And right now, was at the close yesterday, 342.61. And you may be trading in this range today. If you can get above this, 342.61 level, 344.98, I would say is your better one. That's the high from yesterday. If you can get above that, I think you're going to have the same speed zone that we had for Apple and push into that 361.16 level before you get some resistance, because it's sitting just below the 20 and below the 50. By the way, people, the way you analyze a chart is if you're below the moving averages, you're not looking to get long until you get above them. Not saying that you can't take longs into these, but you're pretty much looking for pop and fades until you can regain these 20 and 50-day moving averages. But you can see we're right here on the 100-day, which is sitting at 336.97. And then, we are below, the 100-day moves slower than the 20 and the 50-day, right? So you want to regain that right there. So hopefully you get some news to spark things, and then this all sell-off right here will be a speed zone on the upside. Okay, let's get into Amazon. Amazon's kind of lackluster, if you ask me, but another company that's spending billions on the future. So it is trending lower from this 274 level, and getting some support here. I don't mind this level right here, 223.23 for some support here. This is a high from December 31st of last year, right? So it's an ideal break and retest level. As you fan out here, you could see this level right here, broke it, came down, and now it's going to retest that level, right? So that's a pretty decent level there, I would say, for Amazon. If we can get some hold here, 223.29. 223.23 rather, pretty decent level there. You could also use this 226.97 for support, and then you've got this 230.79 level that will probably give you a little resistance here. But if you do get above that, that's going to be your breaking structure here on the downside here. So the big sell-off yesterday morning, if you pop up there, you have the 200-day moving average at 232.80. Get a little resistance up there on that side right there. So lastly, Microsoft, which has been absolutely smoked for a long period of time here. Boom. But hopefully it can start to consolidate a little bit. If you consolidate, then you could start moving into the upward direction. and maybe get up into this 392.49 level before you get some resistance over there. I have this, this is a line of support that I have here, 349.56. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure. I was talking to, I may have been talking to my brother the other day, and I told him that this is a line, this is a level of support that I have here. If you lose that, you got a 340.84 level for some support in there. And then if you lose that one, I have something down here at 320.80. But this is a level that I have here. Hopefully that level holds out for us, and then you can get a little push to the upside. And then this big sell-off becomes a speed zone, and then you start pushing higher, right? All right, let's get into Tesla now, and then we will get into what we're going to be trading today. Tesla. So holding this 367.71 level from last night. Yesterday was a chop fest, and we'll go over that in a more macro level in a minute. Got to hold the 367.71. If you can regain this 372.50 level, I'd like us to push back up into this, at least the 377.03. And if you can get above 377.03, we push back into the 382.78 level, which is a monthly low from November of last year. On the downside here, got to hold the 367.71. If you lose that, you're coming down here to the lows of 364.20, which is April 27th low. And then if you lose that level, I've got a lower end regressional trend line, which is also in line with, there's two lower end regressional trend lines that it comes into, there's confluence at 355.83. And if you lost that, then you're going to start flushing down to this 344 level. And then don't forget, we have this open point of control at 333.97 level. On the upside, even though you may get some bounce in here, I'd be looking for maybe a little fade into this little trend line that I have here sitting at 377.29. In order to really feel confident with Tesla, that Tesla longs and the bulls are back, unfortunately, we're going to have to regain the 400 level, which is way up here at the 20-day exponential moving average, 399.36. And then also we have the 200-day at 396.33, which should get some resistance up in that level too. I know we're quite a bit away from that, $23, but those of you that trade Tesla, you know what Tesla can do to you in a short period of time. Because all this area right here, if you can get up here and you can regain this 385 level, it definitely starts pushing back up into this 393.65 to 396 level, because all of this becomes a speed zone, right? This big selling right here, just like right here. This is a big speed zone. This big, long, uphill, one directional becomes a speed zone on the flip side when the markets start to turn, right? And so you can see that all was given back, and so now, right now, it's we're trending lower right now. So you got to respect that. So hopefully, maybe we could stay in this little consolidation period, 364 to 72, 372 today. But I will tell you, yesterday's was a chop fest for us in the trading room on the Tesla side of things. So we'll go over that right now. Let's where are we? Tesla. Let's go. Here we go. So for today, we're going to start with today's expiration date, and we're trading at 370 right now. So I'm going to tighten up this range because it's 0DT today. So I'm going to go to 375. You can see they closed at 415. However, we are $5 lower. So this will probably open up in the high twos, maybe threes. And then as far as the puts are concerned, I'm going to go $5 lower on that to start the day. I may actually just change both of these to in the monies, which means that I may change this when the market opens to 370 calls and 370 puts, which pretty much puts it in the money for both of them, real close to that, right? And the reason being is for these, for the premium prices, they're going to be very volatile today because of the theta, and the theta is your time decay. It's time until expiration. Is kind of like a 101 definition of it. And that means that these premiums are going to be flying around. So I usually start the day on Friday at the 0DT expiration, which is today. And then if it's getting too volatile for me, I'll switch to the next expiration date, which now, since January 26th, is going to be Monday, because they have 3 expiration dates now, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that's where your volatility is going, that's where your liquidity is going to be. So that's what we're going to do on Tesla. Something we started was SpaceX. We're looking at SpaceX now. So SpaceX, if you are trading SpaceX, it's got to hold that 150 level, right? I didn't do any levels for SpaceX, so I would say 150 is going to be your major level. If you lose 150, that you're going to come down to the open for the IPO 135. So that's very possible too if you get that flush, especially once the lockup is over, which is going to be in 6 months. You're definitely going to see some flush. Okay, but right now it's still holding that 150 IPO. So what I would trade for today, it is today's expiration date, and because SpaceX is a new stock, they have weekly expirations. So they started when they opened up and they first introduced options. They had a monthly, and then they went to a weekly. So I would imagine that over the course of time, they'll go to 3 expiration dates per week as well, and I'll keep everybody informed on that. So for today, you go to the 150 calls, and I would say you could probably do the 150 puts also. So my strategy on Tesla, I would use for SpaceX right now. So that's what I would do for SpaceX, and I'm starting to dabble, taking a look at it. This is our new indicator that we are about to market, and we actually we're putting it out in the trading room right now. So this is Tesla yesterday, and we were getting chopped up yesterday. Just when you thought you were making the break, it was giving us our signals, and I just wanted to give you a comparison. This is a clean chart to the right of SpaceX, right? SpaceX, and look at, this is what happens when you're in a choppy market. It's giving you all kinds of, chart analysis tools and telling you, hey, this is what you could possibly do. This is what the trend is doing. You could possibly take a trade. You could possibly exit. And all these signs are it's a combination of ATR, which is the average true range, and a combination of volume and levels, right? So it starts with your levels, then you take in then it's a volume, right? You have to learn price action. So here is Tesla yesterday, right? So Tesla was pretty much, garbage, right? It just stayed in this real tiny range all day. $8 range for Tesla is a very tiny range. And you could see you got chopped up, and I got chopped up. I was up money, I was down money, I was up money, down money, thinking that, okay, this is the push. And I got chopped up, and then I had enough. And so if you look at SpaceX, which is now getting very interesting to look at right now, let's see if we can make this bigger on it. And let's switch this up. Okay, so SpaceX yesterday, this is a 1-minute chart we're looking at, by the way. Very clean signals. It wasn't a lot of noise. It was good. Why is it clean? Because good volume was coming through, and it was a one-sided type direction, which this indicator helps to identify, right? So in the morning, you had it gave you a signal to think long, right? And so down here is your table. It's telling you the range of whatever time frame you have. You could do a 1 minute, you could do a 2 minute, a 5 minute. I mean, so if we go out, and we could go as high as a 15 minute, right? So let me clean this up again and find that 15 minute for us. So here is your 15 minute from yesterday. And you could see 15 minute was a lot cleaner, right? Only gave you 3 signals on the 15 minute, right? So now if we drop down to a 5 minute, 5 minutes going to be, a little more action, right? But you had, and I know this is moving around, little noisy here for everybody. But look at the 5 minute. Look at how clean this 5 minute was. Once you broke that 5 minute range, it gave you that direction right here. Here is your first level that you could consider getting out at. So you broke the 156 level, and then you came back down here to 151. So you got $5 out of that move in about 25 minutes, right? So 25 minutes after the market opened. And then right here, this is where it told you, okay, well, your downside may be done. It didn't give you an exit on that downside move until about 12:10, right? And so that was pretty clean. And that was it for the 5 minute, right? So now if we drop down to the 2 minute, 2 minute here from yesterday, a lot cleaner than Tesla yesterday, right? And so this looks good. By the way, this indicator, you could put this indicator on anything. You could put it on foreign currencies, you could put it on crypto, and it's reading volume for you, right? So if you're in a stock and you see that there's a tug of war going on with buyers and sellers, you should probably learn how to recognize that. And I know how to recognize that, and sometimes, as for many years as I've been trading, I still get stubborn. But you could see right here, it gave you a signal that you may consider a long, And then right here on the next candle at 8:38, it gave you an exit. And then right here at 8:40, it said consider a short. And then it didn't give you another exit until 9:32, right? And so you hit both profit lines here, right? Here's your first one. First profit line was 152.70, and your second profit level was 150.83. And I say profit levels, and these are just, you have to do your own homework, right? This is all educational. This tool is considered a charting analysis tool, and you have to make your own decisions on whether to buy or sell, right? It just helps take away a lot of the discretionary on your trading, right? It just helps add to whatever type of trade book you have to make educated choices and probabilities, right? The one thing that I love about this indicator is that we have a table down here, and the table spells things out for you, so you're not having to make lines while the market's moving. It told you yesterday, here's Tesla, the 1 minute. Let's change this to 2 minutes. So this is what I like to have up when the markets are open. I like to have, I got to change this back to Tesla. I like to have a 1 minute, a 2 minute, and a 5 minute up on the charts, so I could see in comparison, what kind of signals they're giving me, right? So yesterday you could see the range was a $6 range on the open yesterday. That is a 2 minutes. Let me give a 1 minute here. Let's see what the 1 minute was. So the 1 minute was a 5 minute range. The 2 minute yesterday was a $6 range. And then the 5 minute was about a $7 range yesterday. But it was a chop fest. We never really broke the opening range with any kind of power one way or the other, right? So we'll keep an eye on that today. And we're gonna definitely be looking at SpaceX. And who knows, a few months from now, maybe SpaceX will be our little baby that we trade. So anyways, aside from that, again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video, and then go down in the description and join our community. You can join our Discord community down there, and that is for free. And then if you want to upgrade, you can join our trade desk that we trade from 9:30 a.m. to Eastern time to 11 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. And then also, lastly, don't forget to go to the website, QOLTrading.com, and put your name and your email address in there so you can get our weekly newsletter that we put out on Sundays. I think this Sunday will be our 15th edition. And again, I thank everybody that's been supporting it. Everything is growing organically. I don't pay for any advertising. Everything is just being viewed on YouTube, whatever algorithm they have. And I try to be as consistent as possible by giving a pre-market analysis every day and then showing up in the trade room every day. And if I can't be there, I'll give you advance notice. But aside from that, everybody, it is Friday. Don't ruin your weekend. Be smart. It's not the last trading day in the world, not the last trade you're ever going to take. So make sure your lot sizes are correct. And, if you recognize if you're in a choppy market, it's okay to not trade. Sometimes your best trades are the trades you don't trade. Aside from that, have a great weekend. And if I don't see you, look out for the weekly newsletter on Sunday. And then if you don't sign up for that, I will see everybody Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Take care.